Welcome to the DeFi DGen issue number 13, podcast number 13. I'm here with Ian, ID Crypto.
What's going on, guys?
What is up? What is up? Happy Monday. Today's going to be a great day. Even though the market is down, we're going to take a look at the market here in a second, along with crypto news. We're going to talk about the curve wars. Ethereum days are numbered. We're going to look at the issues. A lot of FUD going around about Ethereum. Is it valid? Is it not? We're going to look at it objectively, and then whale watching. We got some digital wallets to keep your eyes on. Obviously, the blockchain is transparent, and you can keep track of people's wallets and see what they're doing. And you can watch whales, people with a lot of digital assets. You can watch what they're doing, see where they're investing, et cetera, et cetera. So we have some interesting whales and digital wallets to keep your eyes on today. And should be a very, very interesting podcast, to say the least. And let's jump. Also, we have a lot of reaction content today. So today, oh my God, the market's down even more today. Not good. And you see that, Ian?
Yeah, it looks good.
Holy smokes.
I can see it.
20%. 20% for Ethereum in 7 days. That is tough, man. Anything you want to point out this week?
Let's just go down through and look. I mean, everything is down. I saw Toka was, it's down now, but it's pumped during, Chainlink pumping. That was a signal that the market was going down. Toka's been performing pretty well.
Oh, whoa, look at that price action. What? Interesting. Obviously, that might be it. All right. Up to 60 from 30, up 100, up 50%. That's pretty good. Let's see what else we got going on here.
What's going on with Convex?
Convex? Let's see.
Yeah.
So we will be talking about Convex along with Curve today. Down a little bit. So is Curve. Curve's down quite a bit. Actually is one of our bigger losers today. So we obviously have our weekly losers, and Curve is actually one of them. Ironically, that we're talking about them as well. But let's see. It's doing all right. I mean, it's just consistently on the grind upward. This is like good, consistent, sustainable price action movement right here.
Yeah, and we'll talk about why that is.
I like that chart a lot. That's 90 days. Let's look at the year. Look at that. That is a beautiful chart right there. I don't know. That's a nice chart. That's just like consistent grind upwards. That is a nice chart. But anyways, let's move into some of the news. So obviously everybody's going crazy about the crypto market. It's over. It's over. It's over. I actually posted a TikTok that was like, hey, rest in peace, crypto. A lot of relatively new investors or crypto investors on TikTok. A lot of people hated me for saying rest in peace, get out, get out, get out. It was a joke. And guess what? It got reported so many times that video got banned.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I saw that before it got banned.
Yeah, I woke up this morning. It's freaking banned. I have 2 strikes on TikTok. 2 strikes.
That's so funny.
So I have one more strike. One more strike and I'm permanently banned, man. No good. So, but anyways, I guess we can't joke on TikTok. No more jokes on TikTok.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's move on to the PayPal coin. So PayPal to introduce a stable coin of their own. I think this is going to be a trend of this year. A lot of fintech, a lot of financial processors, a lot of e-payments applications will introduce their own stable coin if the Congress allows it, if the SEC allows it, et cetera, et cetera. But PayPal looks like they're going to introduce one as well. So what do you think? Initial thoughts on this, Ian?
I mean, it seems like a natural for like someone like PayPal to get into like creating a stable coin. But yeah, like you said, I mean, a lot of these fintech companies are classified as a bank or something close to a bank. So I'm not sure if they can do it with all the regulations around these fintech companies, but I mean, they already have like this huge infrastructure of merchants and consumers. So it'd be a pretty natural integration. And if they could integrate their stablecoin into the broader DeFi ecosystem, and you're able to exchange it for, obviously other crypto assets, that could be a huge way to onboard new users. So
Yep.
it'll be interesting to see what happens with it.
Yep, it's for sure. I mean, crypto.com, you saw a lot of new people get into DeFi with the Kronos network and VVS. A lot of new people were onboarded into DeFi through crypto.com and the Kronos network, which is great, which is phenomenal. And you could see something similar, probably not this year, probably not next year, but maybe 2 to 3 years down the road, you might just see maybe a PayPal network, or depending how the fads go. I know there's a lot of EVM networks, Ethereum virtual machine compatible networks. So that's pretty exciting. So Bitcoin S, a publicly listed company, is paying a dividend, a Bitcoin dividend, which is very interesting to see. It's not much, and honestly, it looks like a publicity stunt. If I looked into it a lot. Obviously, I wrote this little article. So my conclusion, it's kind of more or less a publicity stunt. I mean, we'll see. I think it's kind of to pump their stock up a little bit, to get more capital, to raise more capital, and we'll see if this actually works. It hasn't moved significantly since the announcement, so I think the plan has failed, and I think Bitcoin has been going down in price as well, so I think that goes along with it. But anyways, any thoughts on that, Ian?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think anytime that people are like taking salary in Bitcoin or whatever it might be, it's like, I always think like, well, you could have just taken it in dollars and bought Bitcoin. It's not like a huge crazy thing in my view. So usually it's like some sort of publicity stunt or that kind of thing.
Like the New York City mayor, the Miami mayor, even though I think the New York mayor and the Miami mayor are both trying to compete to be like the hub for cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I'd say the mayor in the mayor in Miami is doing a ton. Like I'm actually really impressed with his policies and like everything that he's doing. I don't
You're
know
in New
much
York.
about the New York City mayor, but
Where are you? Where are you located? What the frick, man? You're supposed to be in the insider of what's happening in New York City, man. Jeez.
got no idea.
You don't have, I guess that's fair enough. You don't see any newspapers while walking to work that says
No.
all right. So alerting system that exploits. So there's the biggest issue with decentralized finance and these DApps are exploits. Over $12 billion in funds have been exploited out of DeFi, specifically DeFi applications in 2021. This is a huge issue and it needs to be solved. This alerting system that has been implemented basically is just bots watching wallets that use Tornado Cash, right? Tornado Cash is a privacy protocol and people that use it. So so how does it work? Let's get into it. So how does it work? Basically, when people prepare to do an exploit, they send funds through Tornado Cash and they do certain steps. They do certain steps, and it's pretty much a pattern between all exploiters. And then there's bots that watch it, and then they monitor them and see what they're setting up to do, and then alert teams and projects that are exposed and looks like they're going to be exploited. So this has actually helped stop 2 exploits in this past week alone. DeFi Dollar was notified a potential exploit in DUSD contract has been discovered, and they paused the contracts, right? So very cool to see. But at the same time, I want to point out something that maybe a lot of you guys don't think about. The contracts were paused. Okay, so these DApps, man, I honestly think the more, obviously, the whole narrative around crypto and blockchain technology is great, especially Bitcoin specifically. I think people underestimate the power of Bitcoin, but contracts were paused, right? Who paused it? And could a central entity such as the government force contracts to be paused?
Yeah, I think DeFi Dollar is probably at a stage where they still have like centralized control and upgradable smart contracts, so it's not fully immutable. But
So
that is another issue. Like once you go fully immutable, like if you need to change something, you just can't. So
I think a lot of these bigger DeFi protocols can also pause their contracts too. Like I bet you Curve could. I bet you Yearn could. I bet you a lot of these. So the question comes is say like all these tokens get listed as unregistered securities, and these Uniswaps, these sushi swaps have to either they have to abide by regulations, right? So I wonder how that will go about and whether they will pause like contracts. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be weird to see how that's implemented. And I don't know. Do you have any insight on that, I guess?
I think we'll figure a way around it, like whether that just speeds up the process by which smart contracts become immutable. Because ultimately, if the regulation cracks down on it, people that are able to circumvent it in some way will like all the value will just accrue there, I think. Or
That's a good point. I like that point. I like that point. Biggest gainers of this week: Internet Computers up 35%, Chainlink 27, Plex, don't know what that is, 35%, and DopeX 25%. DopeX has been getting a lot of buzz lately. I think I definitely have to look into it more. Do you know what DopeX is at all?
I was just gonna say I have to look into that more, but I know Tetranode um, is is a big part of DopeX.
Right, I
And
know he owes a lot.
yeah, I saw this a while ago, but never looked into it. And it's obviously done really well since then.
So DopeX is a derivative exchange, looks like decentralized options. I mean, derivatives markets are very immature in DeFi, but they're going to be a huge part of it. Derivative markets, they're going to be absolutely mind blowing in the crypto and the DeFi space. I'm very excited to see what comes of it for sure.
Yeah.
And let's move on to the first news article. Not news, but the first informative article, the Great Curve Wars. Let's go. Ian, you want to take this away?
Yeah. So this can get kind of confusing, but I'll try to explain it in the most simple way possible. So Curve is currently the largest project in DeFi with over 22 billion in total value locked. So it's massive. And basically, all of these protocol treasuries and whales are vying for governance control over the protocol. So, what is Curve? Curve is a AMM that's specialized for stable asset pair trading. So basically, all these stable coins. That's primarily what Curve is for. So you can provide liquidity into Curve, and you can get trading fees and yield from Curve. And they also give out the CRV token to liquidity providers as well. Um, and it's really important to a lot of protocols because they either provide liquidity or use the liquidity on Curve. And so basically, if you lock up your CRV token, you get back a token that allows you to vote on how the CRV rewards are allocated. So if
Mm.
you own a lot of CRV and you lock it up for a certain amount of time, you can just vote for all of the rewards to go to the pool that you're providing liquidity for, or whatever pool benefits you.
Whoa.
So that's what everyone is fighting over. They're fighting over having as much VCRV tokens as they possibly can, which is voting escrowed CRV tokens. Now, the other piece to this that's really important is Convex Finance, and it's often called the Convex Wars, and you'll see why in a second. So basically, Convex says, hey, to all the CRV holders, instead of staking it on Curve and getting back VCRV, you can stake it on Convex and we'll give you CVX CRV tokens, which basically you give up your voting rights to Convex, but you still get the trading fees and the yield from hold that you would get from VCRV. Um, and you also get rewards in Convex tokens. And what's really important to note here is that you actually get more voting rights per US dollar by buying Convex rather than Curve. And according to Convex's emissions schedule, it'll only increase. So that's why a lot of people are going straight for Convex. It makes much more sense to do so.
Mm.
So a lot of people are fighting over Convex, and some of the major players are Yearn. They deposit liquidity into Curve pools, and so they basically 90%. They just compound their LP tokens, but they retain 10% of the CRV rewards to stake and then boost their returns for their pool. Olympus is another big one that has gotten in recently. They recently created Convex bonds. And so they already own over 7 million and growing in Convex. And obviously they have a ton of, revenue generation on Curve that they can boost. Badger DAO, they basically offer a way to earn yield on Bitcoin pegged to assets. And historically they've gotten very low yields on Curve. So they bought a bunch of Convex to boost that. And there's a ton of things happening. There was a huge exploit with this project called Mochi, where they basically just created this infinite mint attack so that they could purchase a bunch of Convex. That was this whole big battle against Tetranode, which is really cool. And then there's also this new Olympus-based project called Redacted Cartel, and basically their whole thing is they're trying to acquire a lot of the voting rights to Convex and Curve. So it's this big land grab right now because, it's only going to be harder and harder to get these kinds of voting rights in the future. So it's really interesting. And there's a few different ways that you can profit from the Curve wars.
Let's get it.
Besides it just being a good thing to know about because it's so influential over the DeFi ecosystem, probably the best way is to just buy and stake the CVX CRV tokens. So you can either do this by buying CRV and then staking it on Convex, or you can purchase CVX CRV directly. And they're currently offering, I looked at it yesterday, it was around 50%, but obviously it's variable. So you get like I said, the trading fees and yield from Curve as well as Convex rewards. You could buy Convex and delegate to Vodium. This is one thing that I didn't really talk about, but the Curve wars have gotten so crazy that people have started bribing on Vodium for you to vote for their pool, which is pretty crazy. So that's a serious way you can make money. You can just buy CVX and then go to Vodium and see what kind of bribes you can get. I think Abracadabra Money is the top briber. So they recently gave out like $1 million in Spell for their meme pool. And then the third way is really to just, be looking at the Curve pools and try to find ones with high gauges and then provide liquidity to those. I think you'll see as people start, challenging each other and trying to vote for their own pools, you'll see really high APYs in specific pools, and it won't last for very long. But if you're nimble enough and if you can, stomach all of the fees, you can get some pretty high APYs that way as well.
So what is a gauge?
So yeah, the gauge. So that's basically how they determine the rewards that are distributed to each pool. So each pool has a gauge weighting, and that's what everyone's voting on. And you want your pool to have a higher gauge weighting so you can get more rewards, basically.
Got it. Do you know the pool with the highest gauge weighting, or is that something
I think right now it's the MIM3 pool pool.
Got it.
So yeah, they've been bribing like crazy, and obviously that's a way to just mint new MIM and overall grow the stablecoin. So
Very
that's
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, Curve wars, man. Not a lot of stuff I did not know in that article for sure. I did not know about Vodium. I did not know about Redacted. And Redacted the butterfly effect. Very cool. I mean, it's nuts how quickly applications just come out of nowhere and they become a prominent name in the space. Obviously, Curve's been
Yeah.
around for a while, and it's pretty impressive of how they figured out or thought of this tokenomics as one of the first DeFi applications, right? So they are very forward thinking. Any last words on that, Ian?
Yeah, no, I think you had a really good point. They thought really far ahead, and to get the maximum amount of voting power, you need to lock up your CRV for 4 years, and the average amount of time that CRV is locked for is 3.64 years. So that shows you that people are in this for the long haul, and that's kind of like their moat. Besides their super deep liquidity and specialized AMM, so they've really thought this through for sure.
Damn, that sounds a lot I did not know. I do hold Curve, but I might just buy some more, I guess. But any of these best reads you want to point out this weekend?
Let's see.
Specifically?
So I think if everyone hasn't known, we have an airdrop Excel sheet or Google sheet that just kind of goes through the potential airdrops, and one of them is Cow Swap. They basically put out a governance proposal to spin out Gnosis Safe, and they're going to create a cow DAO and a cow token. So make sure you go check out that Google sheet. And there's a
Yep,
couple other uh, interesting articles there as well, but I'd say that's the highlight.
for sure. Cool deal. A cow swap. I think I swapped on there. I even think I made it's in my airdrop video. The Excel sheet is in the Discord, so go join. And next article is Ethereum days are numbered. I wrote this article, and Ethereum is my largest holding. Ethereum is my largest holding by a large margin. But although I love Ethereum, and I got in Ethereum a long time ago when gas fees were $2 or $3, and now they're $150 to $100, and I have to come to terms with reality. Ethereum is not going to lower gas, raise TPS for another 2 years until sharding comes or is introduced. So that's an issue. Although they have scaling, although they have scaling options such as Optimism, such as ZK rollups, such as Arbitrum, such as Polygon could be considered a scaling solution. But it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens in the future. I'm not as bullish as I once was, even though I'm still relatively bullish. Why? Because Ethereum is the most decentralized and immutable smart contract blockchain out there currently, and that is very valuable alone. A couple other things to point out is the increase of numbers of layer ones in just a year. Let's go to DeFi Llama. Okay, I have a list here of let's see,
20
I
or
don't know,
so.
20, right?
Yeah.
So a year ago there was about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And then Polygon had 0% market share, and now there's 20. And if we go to DeFi Llama and go to chains, and then go over here, look at this list. Look at this
Oh
list.
my gosh, that's crazy.
I can't even you can't see it all, but there's probably 50 or 60 there. And I obviously cannot put that in the newsletter. I probably could, but it would look disgusting. So just know that layer ones are growing so quickly, and it's just getting saturated. The market is getting saturated, and competition is really building. So we will see what happens. Ethereum's decrease of number of daily transactions, it's around 1 million right now, while Avalanche is around 959,000. Phantom is around 1.8 million. Polygon's up there. Binance Smart Chain is up there. Luna is kind of up there. But we will see. There's a lot of. It's going to be interesting to see. Moon River, Aurora. Ironically, I was into XDAI. XDAI was the first freaking scaling solution, and now it's 0.08. What is this bullshit? Man, I'm still salty about it. But and also also the merge that will happen this year, I believe this summer, June, if I remember properly, it will not have any effect on gas prices nor TPS right? So gas will still stay the same, and TPS will increase slightly. So the transactions per second will increase ever so slightly, and it's not going to be a big event other than the proof of work chain will no longer exist, right? So after this EIP one or EIP, there will be no more proof of work chain. It will just be a proof of stake chain, but everything else will stay the same. And the real upgrade will come with sharding in another 2 years approximately. So another thing to keep in mind is when this new upgrade happens, all the Ethereum locked into the staking contract will be released. Currently, that's about 1.3 million Ethereum could be dumped onto the market. Obviously, these are long-term holders, but just keep in mind they bought it under $600, most of them. So they might want to take some profit. Any thoughts on that, Ian?
So when is that expected to be launched, the merge?
It is June of this year.
June of this year. Got it. Yeah, I mean, there's so many narratives in DeFi can change so quickly, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with ETH. But yeah, a couple of years is a lot of time for other chains to gain market share. So it'll be interesting to see.
100%. So Vitalik had a huge article discussing the he's not pro bridges. He's not pro multi-chain, cross-chain applications. He probably is pro any development, but he's kind of saying, hey, be wary about cross-chain applications, bridges, etc. Why? Because guess what? If one of those chains gets 51% attacked, all the funds in the bridge will be lost, right? So if one of them, if like say you're bridging from Ethereum to let's say whatever Polygon gets 51% attacked, you lose all the money in the bridge, right? So keep that in mind. We will see what happens. Let's see what else he said. For some reason, all right, that's pretty much that summary. I have to finish out this article after we jump off this podcast, but also Ethereum is still going to be a part of the future. I don't know how big, whether it will lose market share, but it's the most decentralized, the most established. There's a lot of EVM compatible blockchains: Avalanche, Phantom, Polygon, Moonriver, Moonbeam. I mean, there's a ton, right? Most of them are EVM compatible. Why? Because that's how you get people to come over and use your blockchain. You add it to your MetaMask, and then people bridge their funds. So that's why most of them are EVM compatible. Their roadmap, Ethereum's roadmap is insane. It's going to take a long time to implement, but there's a lot of great upgrades in it. Top core devs. Obviously, Ethereum's devs are the best, but they might have some, hey, I'm rich as fuck now, so I really don't want to do work type of attitude. So they do have probably a level of content because they're rich as hell, and they're just like,
just not as hungry.
Yeah, for sure. And they're probably they're living their best life. They're going to, I don't know, Mongolia. Charles Hoskinson, he has last 2018 or something. He went to Mongolia. Yeah, he went to Mongolia. He had his profile picture on his Twitter for a while was him and a falcon. You know how like Mongolia has falcons and they ride horses with falcons?
I did not know that.
And then the falcon flies off and gets rabbits and shit. So I probably can find it, Charles. Image. Like that was his profile picture for a while. He's nuts, man. So
there it is.
He took a year off in the bear market, like you do, with investors' money and go ahead and enjoy his life. But anyways, let's move on to the biggest losers this week. Constitution Dow minus 27, Tomb Shares minus 37. Tomb Shares did not do very fantastic. Nacho Share, Piggy Share, all those.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. It's still interesting, but their degen plays, they're pretty much Ponzi schemes. Just to make that clear, pretty much Ponzi schemes. They don't provide a financial service that generates revenue. It's kind of moving money around, right? So keep that in mind. Curve Down minus 25% and Sushi minus 23%. So those are the biggest losers this week. Obviously, there's probably bigger losers, but those are the biggest larger cap project losers. So let's go into my favorite part of the podcast: reactions. Before we jump into the last article for today, and the first one I have for you is CEO CZ, richest crypto billionaire at 96 billion. So this was reported this morning at 4:25, almost 4:20 a.m. Billionaire at 96 billion dollars. How do you feel? I wonder how old CZ.
Do you think that's real?
That's
crazy. I mean,
44. Oh, he's 44. Vitalik's 27, bro. Vitalik's only 3 years older.
Yeah.
4 years older. That's freaking nuts. And he's a multi-billionaire, to say the least. But
yeah. There's SBF. I didn't know CZ was worth that much, though. I mean, that's got to put him in like top 100, right?
Yep. Some sultans are worth trillions. So, but
that's
like publicly, I wonder how much is Elon Musk worth?
Couple $100 billion, I think. I think he needs like 4 times from here to get to $1 trillion.
With Musk's 277 billion, or Amazon with 109 billion. So crypto billionaires are getting up there in power and status, and I mean that's one thing that's going to happen is these crypto billionaires are going to get in some sort of power and influence, which they already are, and they're going to be pretty favorable for the crypto space, and hopefully not like put regulations on one crypto or like lobby regulations via 4 other cryptos, but not the ones they're personally invested in, whatever. That would be pretty shitty, but that's probably what's coming as well. Any last thoughts on CZ being almost 100 billionaire?
I was just thinking about how early it still is and how much growth there still is in crypto, and he's already at 100 billion. I mean, crypto could like 10 times from here, so
it's freaking nuts.
That's crazy.
Absolutely deserved it. Extremely bullish and such. All right, enough of that. Now moving on to refinancing traditional loan / mortgage. This is in the DeFi subreddit. Hi, I have student loans and a mortgage in USD. Interest rates are 4.5% over 20 years. Is there a way you can use DeFi to refinance those and get a lower interest? I have some cash. Oh my God, I thought this was more degen. And it has no comments. This is junk. I didn't read the whole thing. I kind of quickly saw that. I thought.
Good question, though.
You know what? We're commenting. You should take out a loan and invest it in a crypto. Dude, what are we doing here? Are we trying to pay off your traditional loans at 4.5% when you can be earning 20%? I mean, you do you. I mean, this is the difference between you and I, Ian. Well, kind of. Obviously, having a lot of loans is not always fun, and it's kind of stressful and anxiety filled. But if you can earn 20, 30% or put an asymmetric investment, that's probably worth more and will be more valuable in the future.
While the dollar is going down 10% or whatever, whatever inflation number really is.
So actually the real the real interest rate for this loan is -5.5%.
Yeah.
whatever the inflation is, right? So this
And if you paid it
4.5%.
off, you'd be giving up like 30%.
What's that?
And if you paid it off like right away, um, you'd be losing like 30%.
Why is that? Just opportunity cost?
Yeah, because you'd be able to stake at 20% in crypto.
Right. All right, moving on from that disappointment. So Deepak made pretty his ENS domain username is pretty dope. Let's check it out. I'm going to make Dingle crypto kind of like this a little bit. .eth. So this is his website, and look at all his NFTs, bro. He's got a mutant, he got a bunch of doodles, he's got a bunch of bored apes.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
Nuts, dude. Nuts. So pretty cool to see. And I think that's definitely the future. That's going to be like your resume. It's going to have a bunch of cool transactions you made, a bunch of like scoring metrics. I mean, your digital wallet really will be your resume, right?
Because you
And
can just see everything on there. Oh, you were in Aave like when it first came out, like all that stuff.
Right. So it's, and I bet you, Ian, I bet you your digital wallet, it will be very valuable. Right. So I bet you could sell your digital wallet on the open market based off the historical transactions.
Oh wow, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's
just
crazy.
off like and like future airdrop potentials, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I didn't think about that.
That's freaking nuts, bro.
That's crazy.
So what is the present value of future potential airdrops, Ian, of your digital wallet?
Yeah, for real.
It's
And
at
they're
least
so, I mean, what like with the SOS one, that wasn't even OpenSea that launched the airdrop, so it could really be anything now.
right. What is, so I'm just going to value mine at, I'm just going, just for fun, I'm going to value at $92 billion. So I'm richer than ZZ.
Yeah, because it has to compound too, right?
Right, exactly. So I'm richer than CZ officially. All right, here we go. Little clip.
Just like focused on us, and that's what we need. Without it, these things could run wild. We got Stark up top.
A little background. Plan B. I know some people have lost faith in this Bitcoin bull market. However, we are only halfway into the cycle, and although Bitcoin experiences some turbulence at $1 trillion market cap, the yellow gold cluster, whatever, is still the target in my opinion. Yellow gold clusters right here, boys, and we're right here. So we got to go back in time and do a little loop-de-loop and pull. But we'll see what happens. Hey, it's always worked out in the past. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll do a little and up here, maybe we'll see. Only time will tell. Maybe this fall and early winter we'll see a little nice push. But anyways, let's finish watching this little clip.
So this all seems horrible.
I don't see how that's a party.
Dr. Banner, now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
Hold on.
Are you motivated? Are you motivated after watching that?
I'm fired up.
Fired up. Yep. Institution.
I love videos like that.
For sure. I mean, institutions, Bitcoin spot ETF still has yet to go live, so that's something to look forward to as well this year. And I have only a couple more. Any thoughts on that other than cool?
Melania was in there.
Yeah, that
Did they
was
just throw her in there? I know she dropped like an NFT, but
yeah. What the frig? Do you think Trump is going to change
I
his opinion?
actually don't know who the guy in the back is. I see Jack Dorsey.
Oops. That is the president of El Salvador.
Oh, oh right. He like bought a bunch of Bitcoin, right?
Right. Well, Bitcoin's the currency of El Salvador now. So that's
so sick.
pretty nuts. All right. Last thing is breaking remittance giant MoneyGram announced a strategic investment in Bitcoin. The reason why I bring this up is because for the longest time, XRP was like, hey, we're partnered with MoneyGram, whatever. MoneyGram uses our blockchain to do remittance payment. And guess what? XRP just basically bought some of MoneyGram, and then MoneyGram was like, okay, we'll say we use you, but we actually don't. So I just thought that was funny. But anyways, let's go back into the last article and finish up this podcast strong with whale watching. Ian?
Yeah. So if you're not already familiar with whale watching, it's basically the idea that you can watch a wallet and all the transactions that they're doing. Since, the blockchain is public, obviously you can track everything, see all their trades, see all their past trades, how those trades have done, et cetera, et cetera. So I've gotten really interested in this just to see what these, wallets are doing. So I look at wallets that have over 100 million in assets. And basically the easiest way that I've found to track them is to just go to Zapper, and you can go to address book. You can see it there on the left-hand side, and you just input an address, and then you're able to see all the assets that they hold. And you can go on Etherscan and do deeper dives to see which trades they made and everything. But yeah, it's just cool to see what they're holding. A lot of whales are holding Convex. A lot of them are holding are holding funds in Abracadabra Money. Maybe they're minting MIM and using that to yield farm. Who knows? A lot of them are holding Toka. Toka is a project that's done pretty well. It's probably gained 50% while everything else is dropping. I think Toka is actually going to be a very influential project to come because it can control where the liquidity flows, and basically all of these wallets hold a good amount of it. So, and then a lot of these wallets are also on Phantom. So
I see. I noticed that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it just makes sense. There's some high yields there, but that probably bodes well for Phantom. Obviously, I just want to make sure that nobody's basing this type of analysis to make investments. It should just be used as another consideration, because you have to keep in mind that the strategy for these types of wallets with this level of wealth might not be the same for someone with a smaller amount of money. Also, this might not be all of their funds, so they might be holding other funds. This might not necessarily be their full allocation. So yeah,
check this out, Ian.
Cool. Check it out.
So this guy has $3.5 million in Maple. Have you ever heard of Maple before?
Never.
Well, there you go. Let's check it out right now. Crypto capital markets, uncollateralized loan for institutional borrowers. Interesting. What?
Well, there you go. That would be awesome if you had a ton of money.
Right. This is only $49 million market cap. Interesting. Might have to look into it more.
Yeah, and you can find whale wallets that consistently buy micro caps and make money off of them. They probably might have some insider information. So if you can find the wallets that make those really good trades, and just maybe think about doing it yourself.
Absolutely. Well, closing up with some NFT winners. There's just a couple weird ones this week. A cool 400, 300, 435,220%, just a casual in 1 week.
Yeah.
But and lastly, my Dingle Asset Management Fund has taken a beating. We're down a cool 13%. Actually, lifetime minus 14. That's all right, guys. That's all right.
Hey, you're beating Ethereum.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I'm doing better than Ethereum. I'll take that. But I have mine in balancer pools. So if I go to manage pool and I go to balancer, and then I have earned, well, this little yield farm has earned, I think, like $10 over the last week, which is pretty good. We'll take it. We'll take it. 972 since we started yield farming, which maybe will offset 1% of the losses. So we're pretty much even. We'll call it even. We're good to go. But
There we go.
Any last words, Ian?
No,
for today?
I think that's it from me.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. We upload these podcasts a week late to YouTube. So we just uploaded last week's to YouTube today, and this one will get uploaded next Monday. So we're going to continue that. And hopefully you enjoyed our newsletters coming along nicely. It's looking a lot better than it originally did. We're on issue number 13, which is insane, and that is because of each and every one of you that decided to subscribe. So you know what? Thank you.
Hey, let's go.
But that is all for today. Hopefully you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace out.